Hey guys, Kalimera. It's been a while since I have uploaded a new video. I decided that today was a perfect, beautiful day to upload a new video from Nafplio, Greece. Currently is 7:19, Thursday, the 4th of December of 2025 as I'm recording this. If you're new to the channel, my name is Daniel. I live in Greece. Been living in Greece for the last 15 years. I'm not going to tell my story. I've told it many times before. Go and watch the earlier videos so you can get a little bit of background information of what I'm doing here on this channel. Anyways, I'm going for my early morning walk, and as you can see, it's a beautiful gray day, bringing me back memories of my previous life in England. I certainly don't miss this gray sky. You know, this will be a normal day in England for years. For my British friends and brothers, don't get offended. Do not get offended. I have beautiful memories of my life in London. This could be the thumbnail, isn't it? Something like this. You wouldn't be able to tell if I'm in Greece or London for that matter. Anyways, as usual, I'm overdressed. It's not that cold, but hey, it's supposed to be in winter. But I'm super overdressed. I'm wearing my winter jacket. But you know, it was pissing down last night, and apparently the weather's gonna take a turn for the worse. More rain is coming our way. So it's pretty humid, but it's not cold. You know, which it can be a problem because we're supposed to be very cold. But you know, to be honest, after living many years here in Greece, it gets really cold in January and in February. February is brutal, right? That's where the cold really settles. It's very, I don't know, it's very moody today, isn't it? Very, very moody. But to be honest, I love this time of the day because I can hear the birds sing. You know, I can hear the town waking up, everybody getting ready to go to work, going to school. Sorry, forgive me if I'm pausing erratically as I am doing this video. I'm looking for the thumbnail. YouTube secrets of lazy YouTubers, right? I'm just looking for an image so I can use it as a thumbnail for this video. Never mind the title. The title could be anything, but the thumbnail is usually an art in itself, right? So I try to look for icones, like we say here in Greece. Translate icones for those who don't speak Greek, please, if you're one of my Greek followers. It's a problem when you're a foreigner living in a foreign country and you speak different languages. You end up talking your own language, which is a little bit of English, a little bit of Spanish, and of course a little bit of Greek. Here in Greece we speak Greek. I have a lot of Greek followers as well, and I wouldn't call them followers. I hate to use that word, either followers or subscribers, but I just have a lot of Greeks who watch my video. I think that's the right term, the right terminology. And some of them have mentioned before, why don't you speak in Greek, right? Why don't you do the videos in Greek? And I'm like, well, you know, it's a good point, but and even though I live in Greece, my videos are about the life of a foreigner living in Greece. And even though I speak Greek, Greek is not my mother tongue. And my aim with this channel was never to do it in Greek. My aim was to show Greece to foreigners, and before you go crazy ape shit on me, that I'm promoting Greece in order for people to move here and mass tourism and all of the rest, which I have been accused of before, of course. The point of these videos were to just show a day in the life of a foreigner. Of course, back in the day when I started this channel, I was just introducing myself and talking about things that maybe foreigners were not aware of. I took a lot of pride in the fact that I learned to speak Greek, obviously, after many years living here, That being said, I know many foreigners who live here who do not speak Greek. Because, yes, it's a difficult language, but a lot of foreigners don't feel that there's a need to speak or to learn Greek, right? For whatever the reasons. So anyways, the purpose of my videos is that if I'm going to be talking in Greek, I want to show the Greek language to foreigners and say like, hey, if I could do it, you can do it too. You can learn Greek. Even if it's just for fun. Maybe you don't necessarily want to move to Greece, right? But, I do have a passion for the Greek language. And I started to learn when I met my Greek wife. Beautiful cats. Kalimera. I started to learn Greek when I met my wife. I was living in London, and I used to hang out with Greeks right from the beginning. Once, when I arrived in London back in early 2000, and I met my wife, she was living with a lot of flatmates. Well, not a lot, just a couple of flatmates. And they were all Greek. And Greeks speak Greek. So I was hanging out with Greeks, and I did not understand anything. And all I knew about Greece was just the Acropolis and the Greek islands. Nothing else. Well, I knew about mythology, right? So I decided to learn Greek, not only because my wife, at the time it was my girlfriend, was Greek, but at the same time because when I came to Greece the first time with my girlfriend at the time, I did not understand anything. I didn't understand anything, and I was so used to just travel, right, like to an English-speaking country, and just switch from Spanish to English, right? Spanish is my mother tongue, but I learned English when I was a kid because I lived in Canada. Look at this beauty. Can somebody tell me what's the name of this beautiful flower? This is only here at this time of the year, by the way. There are so many videos that I have walked around this path, and this is just dry up. It's amazing how every year at this time, it's just this beauty. It just stands out. Can somebody tell me what's the name of this? Anyways, when I first came to Greece, I didn't understand anything. I was a smoker back then, and I would go to the periptero. Periptero is the kiosk where you buy, newspapers and stuff, and of course cigarettes. And I remember going there, and I'm like, I can't even buy my own tobacco. Right here in Europe, we smoke tobacco. Well, at least I was not smoking cigarettes, just tobacco, which means it's tobacco, the rolling papers, the filter, the ritual. I adapted pretty well, coming from America, right? Because I lived in the States as well before I arrived here in England, and then eventually moving here to Greece. So anyways, the purpose of my channel, and I know I'm diverting into different topics here as I am showing you around, but I can't be that arrogant to to think that you're watching this video and to say that, oh, I've watched every single video that you made and I know everything about what you're about, Daniel. And these videos are not about me. The videos are about this. The videos are about my life here in Greece, but at the same time, a day in the life. And my day starts like this, okay? Like going for a walk. I live in a beautiful place. And, you know, I work from home. So this type of walks are very important for me. They're therapeutical. I have ahead of me 8 hours of sitting in front of the computer. So I want to make sure that I breathe some fresh air. I'm not taking any sunlight today, but, you know, I'm just going for a walk and smell the sea before I start my day. My 2 beautiful daughters are getting up right now. They're going to school. They're getting ready to go to school. So, you know, this is what these videos are all about, right? And obviously speaking Greek and integrating into the community somehow. What a foreigner does, you know, for a living in a foreign country. And all of these little details or little things, you know, are what these videos are all about, you know? I mean, your Greek lifestyle could be completely different than mine, right? If you lived here in Greece, you will have a different version. That could be the thumbnail, man. That's a really badass image, actually. This is not AI, by the way. This is not Photoshop either. You gotta be careful, okay? Things fall off, you know, on this path. You're not supposed to walk it. But I walk it anyway. So I have walked the unconventional path in life. I mean, I have to a certain extent. But then doing these videos, I realized that a lot of people live abroad as well. Not necessarily here in Greece, but in different countries. I mean, these videos have resonated with Greeks that live abroad. You know what I mean? Like, so that's the purpose as well of my videos, to connect with a foreigner who lives abroad. Not just necessarily people that want to live here in Greece or people that are curious about Greek life, but even Greeks that live abroad and say, you know what? Your videos make me appreciate Greece from a different angle. And I have experienced the same things that you have experienced, Daniel, after I went to another country, after I moved from Greece to whatever, England, okay? Which is quite amazing to know that Greeks have actually moved to England, for example, to London, just to name a place. And I have done the opposite. I have actually moved from London here to Greece, you know? I'm still searching for the thumbnail. I'm gonna do a video just about that, searching for thumbnails for my videos. So when you see it like that, you try to connect with that theme, which is always the same. As a foreigner, you know, living abroad, there's certain things that, you know, cannot be explained, or to put it in a better way, there's certain things that foreigners experience, right? That we have in common with other foreigners, regardless of where you live. I just happen to live in Greece. Hey, while you're at it, while you're watching this, if you're still watching, you know, if you're still watching this video, you made it to this point, just drop in the comment section, you know, where you're watching these videos from. Especially this video anyways. Προχωράμε. Again, if you know Greek, translate these little words that I... Τι έγινε, παιδιά? Πού είσαι? Πού είσαι, αγάπη μου? Α, εδώ είσαι. Τώρα θα έρθει η κυρία με το φαγητό. Ναι, αγάπη μου, ναι. Θα έρθει. Το ξέρω. All right. I tried once to do a YouTube channel in Spanish, like kind of like the same angle, like a Venezuelan living abroad. It did not go very well. It did not go very well. You know, Venezuela has been on the news quite a lot lately, and I started this YouTube channel like 3 years ago. I wanted to do like kind of like the same theme, like, you know, a foreigner living abroad from Venezuela. You know, after years living abroad, you know, speaking Spanish is something that it's been a struggle for me. You know, now that we're talking about languages and talking about Greek language and making some videos in Greek that some of the viewers have expressed, like, why don't you do them in Greek or put Greek you know, captions underneath so we can understand, because we don't, you know, we want to see them in Greek, right? At the end of the day, they're videos from Greece. So I tried to do that with a channel that it was about a Venezuelan living abroad, which made sense to me. And I'm like, well, I can do videos in Spanish. That would be really good. I realized that, you know, there is a disconnect with the content that I was creating. And then again, I only did a couple of videos, but then I decided to just change, right? I said, like, I'm not gonna do this actually. You know, Venezuela has been on the news for years now. And as soon as I put Venezuelans, you know, living abroad, and I'm talking about, you know, how I moved abroad and all of this, obviously, you know, I was touching a nerve, or I was talking, I mean, it was very hard not to get political, and I'm not a political guy by any means. I never mentioned politics, but at the time there was a lot of, at least when I released those videos, when I created that YouTube channel, there was a lot of hate towards Venezuelans, right? Because there's a lot of migration, a lot of Venezuelans left, you know, because of what's happening, like, you know, like what happens with any country when there is, you know, hardships, wars, and whatnot. And, well, Venezuela's not at war just yet. Fucking hell. But, you know, I left Venezuela, and my family left Venezuela way before shit hit the fan, so to speak. So I was not in a position to talk about what's happening in Venezuela. And if you have a Venezuelan channel, and as a foreigner, I felt like I don't have what it takes to share. The angle was wrong. That's all I want to say. The framing, the icona was completely wrong. The presentation. So I decided to just, you know, not do it. I kind of touch on that. It's like, well, why Venezuelans are in the front line right now, like, or on the spotlight, it's a better word. Why everybody hates them, you know, because they're all leaving and moving to different countries. And it just did not went down very well, you know. I did get a lot of support from Venezuelans, of course, but then, you know, the videos were not, it's not what I wanted it to be. Just put it that way, right? So I decided to let that go. So this channel has been a place where I can actually share about who am I as a person, my roots. I can share them very openly. I have connected with other Latinos, right? And Spanish-speaking people as well, and foreigners. And without the need to be, you know, talking too much about Venezuela and why I left, because I left Venezuela way before shit hit the fan. So I can't focus my channel on that. and said, this is the reason why I migrated to Greece. A Venezuelan living abroad, tried to make ends meet. It's just not like that, really. You know, it's not like that at all. Of course, we all have our own personal journey and our own personal history and reasons why we do what we do. You know, for me, my life here in Greece, you know, is a blessing. Of course, there's many challenges and ups and downs that you experience, that I have experienced as a foreigner. Even though I have a Greek wife, even though I have a beautiful Greek family, you know, I have experienced certain things that every foreigner will experience. But the purpose of this channel and the story, you know, I don't have to go way back in order to tell my story. I just go back just a little bit, right? Like, I relocated from the UK here to Greece, so that's the story. Then whatever questions people have, like, oh, but why do you speak like that? Even English, why do you have an American accent? Why your name is like that, right? Why you speak Greek with certain funny pronunciations of certain letters? Well, you know, I speak Spanish, I'm from Venezuela, so I can go as back as you want me to go for those who are interested or curious. But the story has always been the same. A foreigner who moved from London here to Greece, right? Of course, when I say someone who moved from London here to Greece, they say like, well, but you don't sound British. I'm like, yeah, I know, exactly. I guess that makes it a little bit more intriguing. Anyways, guys, I have come to the end of the path. I need to go home now. Have a quick sour. All right. I'm not taking the piss, by the way. When I say sour, it's because Greeks have a hard time pronouncing CH in words like, in this case is SH, shower, or in some words like machine. Very hard for Greeks. So you're not supposed to walk this path. Don't do this. Anyways, yeah, there's certain words that are hard for Greeks to pronounce, certain letter combinations, like CH, like machine, showers. This kind of words are very hard, so Greeks tend to, not everybody, okay, but there's Greeks that know really well English. But if you're a native, you can't help yourself but to pronounce machine or sour, right? I mean, even my wife speaks Greek, English like a native, and sometimes it just slips a little bit, and I just take the piss out of her, like, I'm going for a sour. It's just part of the language. Listen, okay, let's be fair here. I speak Spanish, right? Like, my mother tongue is Spanish. So you know, if you've been listening to this video, what I'm saying on this video. So a lot of Greeks have brought to my attention that when I say, for example, chipuro, right, which is tough sigma. I don't know why this is turning into a Greek lesson, but never mind. Tough sigma, which is the version of, in English would be like a T and a S, right? So that is a very specific letter combination, right? And chipuro, which is my favorite Greek drink, right? I mentioned that quite a lot, as you can imagine. And a lot of Greeks are like, yeah, Daniel, but it's not chipuro, like CH. It's tsipuro. And I still struggle to pronounce this type of letter combinations, you know? Because my mother tongue is Spanish. And we do emphasize a lot on the CH, like, okay, we say, for example, mucho, right? And that's just a word on the top of my head, right? But I'm just trying to prove a point here, you know? It's hard, man. When you speak different languages, it's really hard, but it's one of the best things that you can do, you know, to learn a foreign language. And, you know, especially when you're self-taught, right? But I make mistakes all the time when I'm speaking Greek. I make mistakes all the time. My daughters make fun of me when I speak Greek. So, what can I say? I said, yeah, you're right. I'm still learning. Dad is still learning. I'm just a foreigner. Try to make it here in Greece. But hey, I'm just trying to spread some love and some positive vibes. Right? Going back into town now. Can hear a little bit of traffic. This is what's so beautiful about this walk, that you're coming in, you know, from nature, and then you're coming into the town. All right. I hope you have enjoyed this walk. I hope you had a great week. Tomorrow is Friday as I'm recording this. Hey, we have that Friday feeling tomorrow. Weekend is coming. Christmas is coming. Here in Nafplio, we have the Christmas lights already all over town. I'll probably do a video at some point once I go for a walk with the girls around town, so you can see how this town lights up in Christmas. And maybe we can carry on talking about whatever. Just another day in the life of the foreigner living in Greece, talking nonsense. And I'm not talking nonsense, I'm just speaking what's on my mind, really. I mean, these videos are multi-purpose. You can actually turn the volume down and just go for a walk, or you can listen to me ramble around town, right? Anyways, this is what it's like. Life in a small town here in Greece. Almost 8 o'clock. I better go home now. Λοιπόν, παιδιά, this was fun. I hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to drop in the comment section where you're watching this videos from. Σας αγαπάω πάρα πολύ. Don't forget to subscribe, share, and like this video. It helps the channel. And of course, I'll see you in another video, my friend. Yeah.